All right, everybody. So I wanted to come at you real quick. We've got a really interesting update happening in Ethereum. But before we get to Ethereum, I want to show you the pattern that's playing out in Ethereum right now. But I want to show it to you in other assets first. So you hear, again, Stellar. What I'm trying to draw attention to here is this bullish flag that's essentially forming right here, a bullish triangle. This means, we're looking for a long position to be set right here with a target of right up or here around this other resistance level. And this is a pattern that's forming in many altcoins. It's a great position as we've been ranging. This is a bullish range that's about to have a breakout. We got strong momentum. We're just waiting for that volume to pick up. So this is Stellar. We're looking very similar here in Bitcoin, right? It's a very similar pattern. It's targeting the next resistance level of around 10.8. Right around here, 10.5. There's going to be a big breakout right here. We're just waiting for the volume, and the volume's starting to come. Momentum sweeping up. I'm going to show you this Binance coin again. Came up here February, dropped very low down here in March, picked up a ton of volume, and now we've got again the bullish triangle. We're going to be targeting again those resistance levels that we set. See on the breakdown over here, here's Stellar again. And now we're back at Binance Coin, and now I'm going to take you guys to Tezos. Watch this. You're going to see something. The same pattern, I didn't draw it in, but a triangle, right? Bullish consolidation, you're above the averages, higher highs, bullish range, set your longs, forget about it, sell it when you get right up there, right? I mean, that is how you play the markets. We got to wait for the volume. Bullish momentum. Volume will come, and it'll be quite wild. Cardano, same thing. We saw this play out today. Already today, it's much higher. I'll actually take you to the updated chart here. Here's Ethereum. Here's what I'm saying is, most of these coins are still in their range. Expect breakouts to look like this. And again, you're going to target up close to 286. That seems like a logical breakout, but again, we got to beat 253 first. But this looks like, you're not seeing any sellers step in, right? Very few sellers are still stepping in. And I'm really excited about where this can go. All the sellers sold down here, right? And we got bought up, and boom, we're about to crunch out of this. And I will show you Cardano as well real quick before I get out of here. This is Cardano. That's, again, a bullish pattern, bullish consolidation pattern. Every coin's doing the same thing. This just happened to move. And look at the volume. Look at the volume right there, guys. Like this. This is huge volume, huge breakout volume. This is buy the dip mode. This is absolutely, these were all, very bullish buyers down here. This is volume by price. You can see they consolidated a nice point of control. And in the grand scheme of things, right, if you look, you really zoom out, this is where we're coming from, right? Many coins are very similar patterns where we're breaking out of this long-term downtrend. And just now, we're coming to these moments of explosion as we reverse this long-term downtrend. There's going to be lots of volatility as we scoop up. This is a long-term target up here around 12 cents. You can see the volume-weighted average price. You can see the previous resistance levels. This is a logical price for logical place for price to kind of gravitate towards. Here within the next couple months, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a lot of volume to play with. The market just picked up an immense amount of interest, and it's been accumulating all this interest over time. So people want higher prices. That's what the market's telling us right now, but guys. People want higher prices, and people deserve higher prices. No, the market never deserves anything, but you can read the charts and figure out a little bit about the character of the market and the structure of the market and the trends, right? And we're clearly reversing a long-term downtrend, and the narrative is right. Everybody's buying Bitcoin. It's the future. It's the great, the new digital money, and there's this new digital currency, and the trend is just quickly accelerating with all this COVID stuff. Accelerating digital growth, and even the inflation of the money supply, and the monetary base is expanding infinitely, and that's the monetary base is right here. Look, U.S. dollar. This is the scarce asset being valued in terms of an, ever increasing number. Something that is always growing bigger. When this is fixed and scarce, this thing looks so much smaller, so much more less valuable. You need so much more U.S. dollar to buy a scarce amount of Cardano or Bitcoin or any of that. So I hope that kind of stuff makes sense here. And this is just looking like a golden play. The market has been low for a long time, and we're picking up tons of volume. So let's see if this is a fake out. If it's a fake out, here's where you're going to want to put your stops. Like you'll keep your stops somewhere up here high. You could set some sells up here, but this is where the selling is going to start probably. And we'll see how far we can get into this. But the selling starts here, and then we might have a big wick up here. But if you don't want to get caught in that position, you're going to want to set a really tight stop before the selling starts. If you're trying to buy back, basically down here, if you're trying to have your plan to buy back here for like a longer term, trend upswing, right? You don't want price to be going up here, because if price gets up through here, it'll very quickly start rising. Lots of liquidations will occur the higher price goes, which is kind of one of those effects that happen in illiquid markets. Is like the higher price goes, sometimes more liquidations occur, and there's a lot of leverage, and so even more liquidations occur. So people who set their sells a little higher at longer term resistances get filled because of that liquidation effect. So that's another thing to look at, is like sometimes these price runs that go for 30, 40, 50, 60% in a day isn't just because of pure demand, but it's actually people being forced to sell their margin short positions. Think about it like that. When people are forced to short their margin short positions because the margin requirements for that position is, they don't have enough collateral on, and so price gets moved very, very, very quickly up in one direction, and they're forced to sell because, again, a lot of these prices are set on exchanges that have Bitcoin as collateral, and you can get liquidated. That is the whole point. Unfortunately, on these exchanges that have 100x leverage, is to liquidate, right? When you have Bitcoin that backs it, and Bitcoin is, it's kind of a crazy game that you have these liquidations. That's another topic for another time. I don't want to get into it, but anyhow, just understand that there's lots of forced selling from margin shorters, forced buying. There's a lot of forced buying from margin shorters, which causes price to go up. I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. But yeah, margin shorters that are forced to buy because when they don't have enough collateral, their position gets auto liquidated essentially by the exchange. So anyhow.